Easily one of the most iconic movies in the early age of Walt Disney animation, Peter Pan releases in 1953, dazzling audiences and inviting them to join in the adventure as they go into wonderful world of Neverland, and that is what we're going to be talking about today. Hey friends, welcome to Disney Pastor. I'm your host Tim and I talk all things Disney, which includes Walt Disney animation. I'm going to be talking about the good, the average, and the bad of this movie, and wrapping it up with my final review, thoughts, and of course, ranking. With that being said, let's dive in to the good of this movie.
Ooh, that's good.
One of the things that easily stands out about this movie is the songs. Now, I did say and mention that Alice in Wonderland songs, which was the last review, was pretty good, and overall I enjoyed the music that comes from this movie. That being said, one of the interesting things about this one, at least for me, and it's probably because I watched this movie a lot as a kid, is this one is very nostalgic for me. Whether it's You Can Fly, which is arguably one of the most iconic songs ever in the Disney catalog, but even Second Star to the Right, which is like the beginning song of the movie, like those few music notes hit, it's very nostalgic, especially for me. And so this movie has a lot of just really solid songs, plus it has some fun musical moments. Another thing, of course, is going to be the animation. There are a few moments here where it's like it is kind of noticeable the older you get and the more you watch, of like, well, that does make sense that they couldn't animate that. Overall, the animation is really good. It has wonderful use of colors. You get like this dull sense of blues and purples and blacks and darker colors in London, but then once you shift over into Neverland, it's bright colors, bright blues and greens and pinks and just different colors to make you feel like you're transported into another world, which also is just in general a wonderful class of storytelling with the use of colors, and it's done very, very well here. It makes Neverland feel very vibrant, fantastical, which I mean, that is the point, and so it just makes it really, really cool to watch. Next up is going to be the story. It's a really solid story. It feels very lived in. It's easy to follow, easy to navigate. It's fun. It has a lot of good humor moments, humor elements into it, and overall just creates a fun atmosphere that allows you to enjoy the story, whether you're 3 years old or 93 years old. Lastly is going to be the characters. I mean, these are iconic characters. When you think of this play, when you think of Peter Pan, the first thought that comes to your mind, unless you've seen Hook recently, is going to be this movie. And it just shows the impact of early Walt Disney animation, and this one's no different. These characters are lovable, fun. Peter Pan is great and wonderful. Tinkerbell is sassy as you'll get out, and honestly has a really solid character arc for herself. Wendy, John, and Michael, the darling siblings, are also really fun. You enjoy the time you get to spend with them. Smee is great. Even TikTok is pretty cool as well. Not the app, the crocodile. And then, of course, you also have the main villain of the series, which is, of course, Captain Hook, a amazing Disney villain. You love just his wit, his cunning, his emotional range, which is from less angry to angry. I know, such wide range that he has.
This is your last chance, Tiger Lily!
Get up, you idiot! Why, you blithering blockhead!
Put her back, you blithering idiot!
But in all seriousness, Captain Hook's one of my favorite Disney villains ever, and a lot of it is because of this movie. Almost all of it is because of this movie. These are great characters that you know and love, and this is arguably why Peter Pan is so beloved.
Something good, something bad, a bit of both.
There's one kind of glaring thing here, and that is going to be your Neverland Indians, your Neverland natives. Obviously, in a 2024 lens, not the greatest thing. I mean, they're pretty decent characters, I'll give you that. How they're portrayed and the song accompanied with them, probably not the greatest thing in the world. Back then, same with now. But that being said, it's not like I despise these characters or they take away from the enjoyment of the movie itself. Before we wrap up the review really quickly, question of the day is this: who's your favorite character in the Peter Pan movie? Whether it's this one or it's the direct-to-DVD sequel, Return to Neverland, what is your favorite? Who is your favorite character of Peter Pan? I mean, I gotta go Peter Pan here. He's actually not only one of my favorite characters in terms of like just Disney characters, he's one of my favorites, but also just one that I've loved since I was a little kid. There's still a memory I have of being at Walt Disney World, and they were doing like the pirate fireworks cruises at the time. This was long before Happily Ever After. At the end of the tour, you dock over at the Contemporary Boat Docks, and Peter Pan is there, right? He's there. And I'm like one of the last people off the boat. Peter Pan's one of my favorite characters at the time. I was like 4 or 5 at the time. And we just sat and talked for what seemed like hours. It wasn't hours, I promise you, but it was a good chunk of time. He spent a lot of time with me. And so that memory somehow is still up here, but it's a memory I look back on fondly and just shows how much this movie meant to me as a kid, as well as it still does to me now. That's why he's my favorite character, but let me know yours down in the comments below.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
And last but certainly not least, I got nothing here. I legitimately don't. There's nothing glaring that I hate about this movie. There's no glaring issues. Like I said, if anything, how the Indians are portrayed, not great. The natives, however you want to call them, I don't know their specific term. They're not portrayed the greatest, but again, it doesn't take away from the enjoyment of the movie, at least from my opinion and my personal perspective. But I don't have any issues with the movie. I think this is a enjoyable time.
And so our journey comes to an end.
Overall, this is a really enjoyable movie from beginning to end. It's fun for the entire family. I think for a lot of us, this one is super nostalgic. It has a lot of meaning to it. This is a great example of Disney storytelling at its finest. Taking a story that overall is enjoyable, it's, I'd say, well-loved, and bringing it in a way that audiences have loved for literally generations. And it has wonderful characters, wonderful story. So overall, I give it a 9.2 out of 10 with a fun factor of A+. This is really, really solid, very enjoyable. One that I wish I went back to more often, but when I do go back to rewatch this movie, man, it just puts a smile back on my face, and it is a really enjoyable experience. So with my thoughts done and complete, let me know yours down in the comments below. I would sure as heck love to chat all things Disney with you down below, as well as talk about the question of the day, if you so choose to. Speaking of which, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. Helps you know what you like, what you don't like. And if you're new around here, I want to say a special welcome to you. Thank you for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. I greatly appreciate it. And if you're interested, be sure to subscribe down below and hit the bell to be notified for more videos just like this one. I will see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Goodbye.